Welcome to CXone Mpower Quality Management and Life for an Evaluator. We're going to take a look here at how CXone Mpower provides quality management options for you as an evaluator and how you can easily score interactions across the Nice suite. So there are three different ways in which you might score an interaction. The first is distributed automatically to you via a quality plan. Quality plans ensure that we get a good mix of interactions and you don't have to go looking for interactions. To find these, we start in MyZone, but before we take a look further on this screen, we're going to talk about another couple of methods. So then we have manual or ad hoc evaluations. We would do these via the Interactions Hub area, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And then there's a third way introduced over the last year or so within CXone Supervisor, where we can score an interaction live as it's going on. So potentially a different type of form, but an interesting way in which we can provide feedback to our agents. So in this video, we're not going to talk about how forms are constructed or how plans are put together, but more so around the life of an evaluator. And for the majority of your evaluations, if you're using quality plans to distribute automatically, you will be finding your interactions to review in MyZone, My Tasks. This URL, which will be slightly different depending on where you are in the world, if you're an evaluator, I recommend this is your bookmark for quality management. Because what it does is give me all of the quality evaluations that I've got sent to me. Now, I only have one that is within a plan here. I've got this text conversation going on with Barry, and that is part of a quality plan. So this has been distributed to me. And you'll notice at the end here, I've got 3 dots. So on each of these, I can click here to launch the interaction. I can click here to delete the evaluation. And for those in a plan, I've got 3 dots and it says replace task. So for those of you that might be currently using deletion, it's probably better for your reporting to utilize replace, because what that will do is essentially reject that evaluation from the plan and instead send you an alternative interaction that meets the plan criteria. So that way we still get towards completion of our evaluation reviews rather than just deleting interactions. If I click to replace that one, then I don't necessarily give a reason. I've got a alert that came up there in the background. I suspect because we've just gone past the month in question. So the big thing to note here is your plans run on a weekly or monthly basis. I have monthly plans on this demo BU. So everything runs from the 1st until, say, the 31st now. If I go and click on one of these interactions, then I'm presented with both the interaction and the scorecard. Now, there are a couple of ways you might want to do this. What I'm going to do is just do it like so. We'll go side by side like this and like that. And what this does is give me the interaction on one side and the form on another. The new player from CXone is a bit cleaner. We've got more details on the right hand side, such as our behavior score and enlightened sentiment data here, depending on the licenses you have. So this will be utilizing Quality Management Premium. On the interaction itself, I can see that the customer had a mixed sentiment and the agent was neutral. In this form, what I've done is put together a number of different questions, and actually we're going to try and utilize some auto scoring. So a big thing to note here is Nice CXone Mpower doesn't currently have complete automated scoring. However, what you can do is set individual interactions to score based on a behavior or a sentiment or a category, which would be verbiage around the business. So here I've got was the call positive. And this little option here is telling me that we did not find a match in the auto response rule. So I would always say utilize your analytics as a guide. You would still listen to this call and see what's gone on. I'm going to say that's a yes, and we'll see that our score changes as we go. Did the agent effectively question? Now this one has been auto responded. So here, what we've done is picked up that we believe effective questioning happened. Now, if we have a look back across our interaction, the reason we've done that is because we're utilizing effective questioning, one of our behaviors. We can say what our key reason for this is, and we're going to say yes to this. We're going to say yes to this, yes to this. Now this one here, currently we would have to listen to this call to see if this had happened. However, what we could also do is put the verbiage around our announcement that calls are recorded and place it into a category. So here we can see email is referenced with a high confidence, and we can say staff. We could place one in here saying recording compliance and bring that in. I'm going to say yes at this point. And now I've got some soft skills and I've asked the platform to also auto score here. So did we show empathy? We've got a smiley face, moderately positive, so that's gone as yes. We've got mixed. Now that is a straight hit off of this sentiment here. And at the moment, I'm going to listen to this. So you can see here we've got a neutral for our agent. So we don't believe anything was said. Now actually, not a great example of a call here because we haven't got any agent path. So I'm just going to say here no, so that I don't negatively score. You see, if I go yes, I've got a -2 contributing to the scorecard there. I've got some free text which I can provide here, and I can then submit that, and that quality review is completed. So what I can do is just carry on as an evaluator, just clicking on each one of these, and it brings me the interaction, it brings me the evaluation, and I just score accordingly as I need to. That makes life a lot easier. I don't have to go and find interactions. Also, depending on your role and permission, we have the completed tab. This shows me everything that has been completed by me as an evaluator, not me as an agent. That is elsewhere within my zone. But me as an evaluator, I can see that I've recently sent this one to the agent. And if I have the permissions to do so, we'll close the call here. We've seen that call already. If I have the permissions to do so, then I can edit this interaction. Now, there might be scenarios where actually editing makes a lot of sense. Say you've spent all day reviewing and actually you want to go back to this because there's something that you've decided you're going to review it again. So not quite an appeals process, but here we're doing a bit of self-governance, and we are going to say that we didn't capture that and we've scored that one lower down. Then we can save that. So if I go back to my list of completed now, I will see that score has gone down. If I do look at that again, then get rid of the interaction. And in evaluation history, we can see the scores that have changed over time and the reason for this. So that is what happens if we are distributed interactions, mainly through quality plans, although if someone has assigned interactions to me, then they'll also appear here. The other place where interactions can be reviewed on a manual basis now is Interactions Hub. If I just run a report for the previous month, then that's going to give me all of my interactions over that time. And I've got loads of different filters that I can play with here to maybe find certain types of interaction. However, if I just get rid of that, what I'm going to do now is just pick on this call here, and I can click here, evaluate. I can select my evaluator. It might not be me that I want to send the evaluation. It might be that I send it to Indy, for example, and I send the form and I click evaluate accordingly. However, I can do that myself as well. So if I go and click on this interaction here, again, I can just click and evaluate. It brings me up the form. If I then click on the play icon or double click the interaction, then I will get both sides of the story for my review. Now, I've created my form on the premise of a call. So what we'll see here is it's not an overly helpful chat. We're going to say it wasn't positive, didn't effectively question. We'll say it's a complaint, maybe an inquiry. Say no to a lot of these things. Didn't show empathy. Neutral, I would say that was negative actually. So I can overrule that if I want to. And we could submit that. So you can do everything that you need to from Interactions Hub as well. The difference with a quality plan, you then don't have to go looking for the interactions. So it makes a big difference there. The final way in which we can review an interaction is from Supervisor. This was a recent addition to CXone Supervisor. So if I click on this call here with Carl and go and monitor this, then I'm listening to this call. If I go into my monitor view, what I can do is, whilst I can assist and coach and all that kind of good stuff, I can also click Evaluate. That's going to bring up a pop-up and it will give me lots of different forms that I can utilize on the platform and then score accordingly. So if you're doing this, you're more likely providing evaluation assistance because something is going on during a live call. So a slightly different form that you might want to create. This one here is still based around a post-interaction review, but it's another way that you can make available to your team leaders if you want to utilize it. So there you have it, life of an evaluator within CXone. Essentially, you're going to spend your time in MyZone and in Interactions Hub, and potentially if you're a live monitoring team leader or supervisor as well, potentially also within CXone Supervisor. Final thing to note here is if you are using Supervisor, your tasks view is shown here, as is interaction search. So what that means is your life as a supervisor is easier because there's less clicks to make. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you have any questions about quality management on CXone, then feel free to send a comment through. Thanks for watching.